Today we're talking about everybody's favorite shiny metal, gold, and one of the most popular pairs or things to be trading as a forex trader is gold. You guys would not believe so many people love to trade gold.
The gold is as good as mine.
And in this video, what we are going to do is we're going to cover the recent price action in gold, talk a little bit about some current events and things that are driving the price of gold, some fundamentals, as well as some key technical things to look out for in terms of huge signals going into this year, 2022. Let's get it. So welcome back to the channel, you guys. If you're new here, do me a favor, subscribe, and if you enjoy these videos and you want to support the content, hit that like button. It really does go a long way. So we're talking about gold today, and by the time you guys see this video, by the way, I will be out of town. I'm on vacation for a little bit. We're out in Utah doing some fun stuff with friends, and I wanted to film this video ahead of time so that you guys could kind of hear my thoughts on gold. If you are somebody who pays attention to this stuff, I'll give you my take on it. Now, gold recently has been really choppy. I mean, take a look at this. If we go look through some of these recent trends, what you'll notice is that we've had several different kind of periods of time where we essentially just kind of enter into the chop zone, if you want to call it that, where we really don't go anywhere at all. We kind of just go back and forth. But I wanted to talk about a bigger, longer term signal that I kind of was looking at in terms of price action and in fundamentals going into the rest of this year. First thing I want to do is I want to draw some long-term trend lines. We're talking about daily chart. You really could even get the weekly chart out for this, but I'll start on the daily chart. So check this out. The reason I think gold is going to be very interesting in the next coming weeks is because things are sort of tightening on gold. What we often know about price action is that when things start to get very tight, right, when they start to get very congested and consolidated, what usually comes next is a big breakout. And with everything going on in terms of the Fed's monetary policy outlook and inflation concerns, I think gold is ready for a big move. Now, I don't know if it's going to be up or down. I'll give you my take in just a second. But what I do know is that there's probably a large breakout coming into gold sometime soon. There's only so long where this metal can be contained. This thing is like a big fat dinosaur in a cage, like in that Jurassic Park scene. You guys remember when there's that T-Rex sitting on a boat and then it eventually breaks out of the cage? It's inevitable that that's going to happen. And so in this video, we're going to talk about the dinosaur coming out the cage as we discuss gold. Yes. So anyways, when we're looking at this, that long-term trend line that we just drew, right, across the top and across the bottom, shows two interesting dynamics about the chart that we're looking at, the price that we're seeing, right?
Hello everyone, Chandler the editor here, filling in for Nick while he's on vacation. I'm here to tell you a little bit about our free Discord. In the free version of the Discord, you will find daily analysis for forex pairs, indices, and commodities. There is also a technical analysis handbook as well as free PDF downloads to help you build better trade plans. On top of all of that, we provide a list of our recommended brokers. If you like what you see and are serious about your trading, consider joining our gold membership. Now back to the video.
From a seller's perspective, we're seeing longer term, consistent selling of gold, right? We're seeing the gold market continuously be sold lower each time it tries to rally, and sellers are competing with the bulls and winning whenever it starts to rally. Like they're progressively making this lower. But hold on, before we get too far with the sell side, the buyers are doing the same thing. Ever since March of 2021, each time there has been a low formed, we've been consistently able to find a new point and push price higher. Basically, we've struggled to really continue to make any consistent downside either on gold, which is driving price into this one big consolidated sideways motion, right? It's not going too far of anywhere, right? In fact, right now we're at the same levels that we were talking about back in July. So here's the signal. If we can break out of this structure, I think gold could be set to continue one way or the other. And it's not just based on the chart, it's actually based on fundamentals as well. Right now, the Fed is sort of claiming that they're going to combat inflation, which is probably what's keeping gold at bay and why it's not just trending massively higher. Since recently we had a 7% inflation reading from our CPI here in the United States, which shows that there's a lot of volatility on gold, or not on gold, there's a lot of volatility due to inflation. There's concerns around inflation, and why isn't gold rising like crazy? Is it manipulation? Is it, why isn't the gold market dramatically going up? A lot of people are like, the gold market should be higher, and maybe it should be, but to be fair, I think it's more based on the forward focus. We are still expecting the Fed to combat this inflation, and there's still a lot of faith that the Fed will be able to do that, and that's why we have a good point fundamentally for the bulls and for the bears. For the bulls, they're saying saying inflation could drive price higher on gold and be a great hedge against that. For the bears, inflation is something that is being addressed by the Fed and is starting to be taken over by the Fed, right? So if they can successfully raise rates and combat that inflation, gold should drop. So that's where you get this very tightly knit situation. And at some point, we're going to see one way or the other this decide to play out. For example, if the Fed really comes out strong with putting the facts on the table, right? If they start raising rates, if they start doing stuff that's just more aggressive on the monetary policy tightening, we could take a look at gold and say, okay, XAU, USD, well, the US dollar could get very strong if the Fed follows through, which in that case, that long-term sell pressure could end up pushing through and win over the price here on gold and break us out. If that breaks out, there are huge sell signals if this is not able to hold. If this line of defense for the bulls breaks, you're talking about a massive sell-off. But on the flip side, if the Fed stays not impressive, right? Recently, they've been mixed sentiment. There's been the congressional speech from Jerome Powell was kind of subpar, was a little bit dovish sounding, and markets were a little bit concerned about that US dollar wise. Well, overall, if the Fed can't get their stuff together, if you don't have a lot of faith in the Fed, then there is that possibility of a change in direction to the upside, a breakout, if you will, of that seller-controlled market. And in that case, there may be some excellent opportunities for longer time frame breakouts, right? And so either way, there is sort of a wait and see kind of aspect. If you're looking at gold and you're saying, okay, well, the Fed could be really strong and we start to see that move, in that case, maybe you look for sell opportunities. Maybe you say, okay, the dollar's strong. Let's wait for some form of a breakout, pullback, and continuation. And again, these are longer term signals, but it doesn't mean that you couldn't take advantage of them on the lower time frames. You start to see evidence of this playing out. Maybe you jump in on the short side. You're looking for opportunities intraday, pullbacks to broken resistance, right? Things like that. On the flip side, if there is, a loss of faith in the Fed, we could see a breakout, and there could be some excellent trading opportunities to target higher prices. Now, what we should do is talk about longer term breakout targets. Let's say that you're very bullish on gold and you think that the Fed is totally incapable of dealing with this inflation and inflation is going to get much, much worse. If that's you, watch for price action points where you could see that happening and try and react to that situation. And maybe you could even look for, opportunities to ride that wave higher. But again, these are bigger term breakouts. And right now, until this happens, this is why I've been not super interested in trading gold. But now with things getting tighter and tighter and more sort of tense between the Fed and inflation concerns, there is also the opportunity that we could break out to the downside if the Fed does make a serious move. So if the Fed does make a serious move, we could very well see a breakout here. So my main idea here is that if the Fed gets strong on stuff, look for a breakout here, and my reasoning would be a retest of the yearly lows. Actually, I believe that was 2020's lows. Is that right? 2021 lows there, and 2022, 2020 we were much lower actually. So so the idea being here, basically, if we can see a breakout underneath this structure, if that fails and there's good fundamental backing, I would not be surprised to see it drop down to 1700, a retest of that area. On the flip side, if the Fed completely just screws up and they're not able to dissuade inflation fears, and inflation does become a main topic of discussion like it did in 2020. If you think 2020's trend, was just all technicals, that would be missing the story. The story was inflation. It was a panic phase, right? People were like, the Fed's going to print us into a huge problem. And, all central banks, or most central banks, did go into quantitative easing at a record pace, and that did cause a lot of currencies around the world to devalue dramatically. And so there was a great fundamental catalyst to the upside. And then, people started making more Fed-backed bets, right? They're saying, okay, the Fed's going to take care of this. And now that is kind of where we sit today. Again, a little bit of a fundamental longer-term outlook on gold. You kind of have to ask yourself which way you fall. And you may be asking, well, Nick, where do you fall on this? And my opinion, until further notice, this could change, right? I'm going to be watching just like you guys to see what the development is with the Fed. But my expectation, because I am a dollar bull, I do believe that the Fed probably will get their grips on inflation and some point in the future get back to their target inflation levels. What that could mean is rate hikes. It could mean reduced reducing stimulus, reducing asset purchases, things like that. They're already starting that process. And if that process continues, I imagine that the upside for gold is probably limited, and we could see a breakout here and maybe a move down to 1700. Is that going to happen in the next few weeks? Probably not. It's probably going to take some time, as fundamentals are longer term indicators. If you like fundamentals, by the way, I would definitely encourage you, if you made it to the end of the video and you're serious about fundamentals and you're not hearing it from other places on YouTube, it's not as popular as talking about charts, but it really does drive the currency market big time. So if you would like that, if you'd like more fundamental stuff, come join us within the private Discord channel. We do have a community available, and we talk about fundamentals on a regular basis with the trades and trade alerts being shared to our members. All the information for that is down below in the description. Let's pop up some images of what that Discord looks like in case you're curious. And if you'd like to find out more, again, click the link down below in the description, use the promo code, and you'll actually get a discount off of your membership there. And hope to meet some of you guys inside. Have a great rest of your day. We'll see you next time. What's up, guys? Thanks for watching today's video. There are more videos available on our channel here and here, so go ahead and click into that for some more free trading content. With that said, thanks for watching. We'll see you back next time.